Let me welcome Karen Johnson, who is a member of the Parks Board, but also a member of the Metro Council. So she's wearing two hats today, along with Budget Chair Ronnie Stein. And Tommy, if you would introduce your colleagues and then make whatever budget presentation you like.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm more than happy to be here again. I'll start with the two people up here with me. On my left is Monique Odom, who's our Budget Director, and Tim Nates, our Park Planner. As you had mentioned, Mr. Fossick, one of our board members, is here today, and I have to give you a regret from Mr. George Anderson, who said he had prior business commitments that he could not change to get here today, but he wanted to make sure I mentioned that. As well, I have other key staff members with us today. Mr. Jim Hester, Mike Bays, Shane Dennison, Chris Taylor from Metro Police, who runs our Park Police, and Jackie Jones, our Public Information Officer. But of note, I have two new people joining us today, new to the leadership team. Ms. Sally Davis, who's the new Assistant Director in charge of Community Recreation, and John Holmes, who's our new Assistant Director in charge of Revenue Producing Facilities.
Should we direct our hard questions to Mr. Hester? Is that the plan?
That would be, he would be a good one, or Mr. Bays, any of the others. Mr. Mayor, the Parks Department has had a great year, and I want to thank this administration for their support and understanding of what we do. We're closely aligned with you in the desire to grow our park system for future generations and create more opportunities for people to live healthier lives. We've been happy to participate and provide support for the Mayor's Field Day, the various Walk 100 events, the annual Mayor's 5K, Musicians Corner, Celebrate Nashville, Earth Day, and the annual Christmas tree lighting ceremony, amongst a variety of other programs. As you know, we are close to opening the new 40,000 square foot Southeast Regional Center in the Global Mall at Hickory Hollow. That center and the new park, coupled with the new library and the Predators facility, will be an exciting addition for the residents in that area. We've recently completed 10 miles of new greenway. We've increased our acreage with new green space in Whites Creek and Lakewood, and we have been visiting the Lytle Farm, and in fact, we went on a tour of the facility recently. The new Sevier Park Community Center will open this spring, as well as the Sportsplex Fitness Center. The Centennial Park Master Plan is moving forward, and the Lake Watauga Water Quality Project is currently underway, and work will begin this summer on the daylighting of Cockrell Spring. Work is presently being done on both sides of the Cumberland River with major projects. But I would like to take a moment and talk to you about, not just about our accomplishments, but about something that is very near to me, something I love and I think is very important to the city and to all its residents. Whether you are rich or poor, black, white, or brown, athletically talented, or environmentally tone deaf, that something is what we've been focusing on in the Parks Department. It's the foundation of what we do and involves three things: conservation, protecting and taking care of public lands, and being good stewards of our resources and the environment. Healthy living and wellness, encouraging people to live more healthy lives, and fighting childhood and adult obesity. Social equity, providing affordable recreational activities for all people who live and visit our city. This department has performed and continues to perform in these areas at an extremely high level. I want to thank the staff and people of our department for that. As you've heard me say many times, the people who work for the Parks Department are there because they want to be. They are doing what they really want to do for a living, whether it is working with at-risk youth at community centers, leading trips into nature, or rescuing frozen geese from Lake Watauga. They are doing what they are good at and what they love, and it shows. Sometimes you hear that Parks Department is a non-essential service, and I would have to contest that. What would our lives be without parks and without the opportunity for recreation? Most of the population is well aware of the health and psychological benefits of a park, but it is also important to understand the economic impact of parks on neighborhoods and cities. We contribute to the economy by increasing property values. We attract tourists and residents who come to events and activities that generate economic activity both inside the park and for nearby businesses. We are a critical component to your successful formula of attracting new companies and families to our city, and we played a key role in developing Nashville's reputation as an IT city. A few examples include Bloomberg's latest list of America's 50 best cities, ranked Nashville as number 28, and it cited the high number of parks with some 17.8 acres of parkland per 1,000 residents. USA Today named Nashville as one of the best urban green spaces in North America, noting Shelby Bottoms, the Greenway, and the Nature Park in East Nashville. Fodor.com named the Mossy Ridge Trail in Warner Parks as one of the 7 best hikes in the United States. Outdoor Magazine named Nashville as one of the top 10 river towns in America. The Huffington Post cited the Parthenon as one of the 22 reasons you should visit Nashville now. So as I said in the beginning, we've had a great year and things are good. But there are a couple of areas of concern that I would like to talk to you about. We now have 13,582 acres in parkland and almost 800,000 square feet of facility space. In fiscal year 2008, we had 10,392 acres and only 583,000 square feet of facility space. And this doesn't include the Southeast Community Center and Sevier Park Community Center. In 2008, we had 159 people working in maintenance. This year, we currently have 26. We've lost 33 people, and yet I appreciate what you did in this fiscal year by adding people into our maintenance area, but we still need more. We can't continue to expand acreage and facilities and be expected to meet the demands of people that come to our parks and centers. I know that every department has a wish list, and every department is totally convinced that they need more funding to do what they do. And on an annual basis, you get to hear all of these requests and then have to decide the priority for the limited funds available for all the worthy departmental requests. And I know it's not easy, but I would be remiss if I did not make the request for what I think is vitally needed for our department. So with that in mind, I'm asking you to support 2 critical areas. Maintenance of parklands and facilities. We need the continued resources to keep our land maintained and our facilities working properly. We have aging facilities. Some of those facilities, Hadley, East, and Coleman, were built during the initial implementation of the master plan more than 10 years ago. Those buildings, along with other facilities, are in serious need of service and repair. This would also need a corresponding request for fleet management to take care of the buildings and of the property we needed. Also, increased staffing at recreational facilities. Our community centers are extremely popular places for our young people, both after school and in the summer. It's not uncommon for our community centers to attempt to serve an unexpectedly large number of people during these periods. We need to be able to strategically hire enough people to alleviate this situation and improve our programming so that we remain proactive rather than reactive to potential problems. One idea and a particular focus I would like to bring back is a strong summer seasonal worker program. It used to be that high school students got jobs in the summer, and it was a place where they learned their first job experience, to be on time, to do things that they were told to do, and to learn the habit of working for a living. In the past, our department had been one of the key facilitators in providing good entry-level first jobs to young people across the entire city. I would like for our department to lead that effort once again. I could go on many areas of the department and our needs and of our pride and the greenways that we've opened across the city and the new programs and the new parks that we have planned and are in development. But I guess I better stop right here and we can go on and answer your questions. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I certainly share your opinion about the importance of the Parks Department And you guys have been great partners in all the fitness work we've done. We ask a lot of you. I know every time we think of an event, you're usually the first people we call to make sure it happens. So,
Well, actually, in actuality, we appreciate that. That's what we do. We have the community centers, and that's why we've added the fitness areas to the community centers and the greenways.
you mentioned you have some exciting stuff coming up. Sevier Park is opening this spring.
This spring, where we're kind of going through the final punch list now. We're ordering the equipment to go into it, and we're going through the hiring process to get the staff.
Right. And what will that offer to the citizens?
Well, it's a full-scale regional center. Part of the facility will have a fitness center. We'll be offering ballet classes, dance classes, fitness classes. We have a couple of new greenways in the very near vicinity and walking paths inside the park. So all of the activities that go on after school, all of the activities that go on as far as walking in the area and any other community center activity. Basketball will be played. So there's a myriad of activities that will come. We've been getting requests from the 12 South community to get involved with the facility, and as soon as we get our staff identified, we'll have more meetings with them to set the program.
Okay. And how many regional centers do we have now, and how do you make a determination when one is needed?
Let's see, I think we have 8 regional centers. We have 8 regional centers right now. This was all done as part of the original Parks and Greenways master plan. We've been updating some of the older centers as we moved along, like Sevier was one of the initial centers done back in the early 60s, and it has been demolished and replaced. We have McCabe was the same type of situation at McCabe. So we have McCabe, East, Hartman, Hadley, Coleman. Am I missing
Let's
one?
see.
And you got
You might be
Southeast.
faster.
And we're having the Southeast coming on and Sevier coming on.
Update us on Southeast, Tommy or Tim, or tell us how Southeast is going. Update us on that.
It's going very well. We're working very closely with Metro General Services on that, which is managing that project on our behalf. It will actually be the largest in terms of square footage of any of our new regional community centers, and we're excited that not only will we be able to provide the range of programming that we typically provide at regionals, there will be some unique features at that community center, like a rooftop deck that not only Parks will program internally, but that can be available for people to rent for special events, several community meeting rooms, and then the new park space out front.
And as Tim mentioned, with it being our largest regional community center, we have the request into Mr. Reevling about staffing levels needed for that community center as well, which would correspond to being the largest regional community center.
Okay. And you mentioned basically the cleaning of Lake Watauga and opening up the creek. How are we doing on the Centennial Park master plan?
Well, the lake project is in full swing right now. When we had the Arbor Day celebration, I was kind of afraid. I didn't want to stop the bulldozer from doing its work, the lake had just been drained. But as you well know, the mayor's office received complaints about the lake over the past couple of years. That project is in full swing, and we're getting ready to start construction on the daylighting in front of the park.
And when will the lake be reopened or?
That should also be finished in May, along with a number of our other projects. The dredges, the lake is currently drying out now, and then they'll go in and actively complete the dredging. And then once it is refilled with water, we'll go back with the aeration and circulation system and floating wetland islands.
Okay, good. In terms of the greenways, you said you've 10 miles done this past year?
Yes.
What are we looking forward to in the upcoming year?
Okay, we have Browns Creek, which should be completed sometime in midsummer. We did complete the Cumberland River Greenway at Crooked Branch and the Cumberland River Greenway at Peeler Park. We're doing the punch list of the 3.1 mile Greenway out on The Harpeth River out in Bellevue, we have 1.78 miles should be completed by the end of the summer in Mill Creek out at Lenox Village out in Antioch. We have the Mill Creek at Whitsett Park in Wimpo, 3/4 miles complete, and a half a mile is getting ready to be done. We've completed Fontenelle. I mean, we're all over the county.
Good. Now, in terms of the recreational centers and the seasonal work staff you're proposing,
Yes.
how many people are involved in that?
This would be a grand total of 72, and it would be something, obviously with this coming fiscal year's budget, it would be something that wouldn't be a part of this summer's program, it would be start next summer in next fiscal year. Without going on about my own personal experiences, but the hiring and the oversight in the summer program, it has been something that over the years in the past kind of got cut out as budget cuts hit the department. The people utilizing the community centers in the summertime are becoming more and more, and we're getting increasing numbers because of the types of facilities we're offering now compared to what we had in the past. But the big issue is the oversight of the number of kids so that we could get to a 1 to 25, one employee per 25 members that are using the facility during the summer enrichment program, so that we can have a safe program and have our full-time staff organize more activities and program more. This is something that's very important to me, and it's really totally consistent with the mayor's youth master plan that had been enacted about 3 years ago.
And what type of, how do you select the people who participate?
Well, what we're looking for, we're anticipating that we would have high school students, and every high school student would have to go, everybody that applies to work with us with kids has to go through a background check. So our recruitment might be more sent out to the Metro Public School System to let them know that we're having jobs that'll be opening next summer, and get high school students that are in Nashville working in the community center.
Okay. In terms of the need for maintenance, have you looked at contracting those services? I mean, it seems to me that obviously there are, probably the big thing you need is people to mow the lawns.
Yeah. The one problem we're trying, we've hired contract employees to come work for us in the summertime, and I thought we would be able to get contract lawn services. However, in planning and working with them, that is more difficult to manipulate and manage than it would be to have contract workers helping with our plumbing and things of that nature in the buildings that we operate, and utilize employees outside cutting the grass. We actually do a very good job of cutting the grass and are probably more efficient than a lot of these folks. In fact, we are still operating with Metro Water Services on some of their flood buyout properties, and they found that our guys do a better job, do a quicker job, and do it less than their contract services.
Yeah, it just seems that if you did a competitive process where you look for folks to contract to perform these lawn mowing or other maintenance, that it's seasonal. I mean, you go through, we just went through several months where you don't need people mowing the lawn, and you're not adding permanent employees to the government with all the associated costs that come with that, and it puts you in a more sort of nimble way to respond to what you need.
Well, and with this request coming to you, I think that would be something that we could do. If we knew we had the money in the other part of the budget for next fiscal year, I think we could get out in front of it, do some planning, and do some requests to lawn service organizations to get it done that fashion. Yes, sir. And we're more than glad to look
opposed to
into
doing it that way.
No, sir.
And Rich can help you.
Yes, sir.
Are there any other capital projects that update us on?
Most of the capital projects we have, are you talking about the ones that we're doing now,
Yeah.
or the ones? Tim can probably update you on some of the things. We're still doing a lot of work on the permitting for the tunnels, et cetera, at Warner Park. And it's also, a lot of our requests for next year pertain to these ongoing master plans that we've done for Shelby, Warner, and Centennial. But Tim can kind of get more specific.
Sure. Well, Tommy mentioned Lake Watauga, the Sportsplex Fitness Center, and Sevier Park Community Center. Also completed this spring will be the Pitts Dog Park, the Two Rivers Dog Park, the Edwin Warner Sports Field lighting, and the Percy Warner Clubhouse parking lot, which will serve not only the golf course, but also the new mountain bike trails, and then will connect to the road system within the park. So it'll serve general park users as well. This spring, we will also bid out that Phase 1 work in Centennial Park at Cockrell Spring and around the Parthenon. Construction is currently underway on the replacement of the Centennial ice system at the hockey rinks. We're moving forward on countywide court refurbishment.
Court, meaning tennis.
Mostly
Not
tennis.
general sessions or something.
Correct. Mostly tennis courts, some basketball courts. We're moving forward on design for Fort Nashboro, the rebuild of Fort Nashboro. Construction's currently underway on the riverfront east side and also on the west side of the amphitheater site. We just broke ground on Phase 2 of the Shelby Park Master Plan implementation.
What's in that phase, Tim?
That is the largest component of that project is a trail that will connect from the Lillian Avenue entrance down Beech Grove Hill and through the Phase 1 area where we have the new special events field onto Shelby Bottoms. Parks, working with the community, working with Friends of Shelby Park, really identified pedestrian connectivity to and through the park as a high priority, so that's how we established that. We continue to work with Friends of Warner Parks and TDOT on the connection to the new Birch Reserve. We'll have a contract for construction on that in August of this year. We're working with the design build team on the new Percy Warner Golf Course Clubhouse, and that should be completed in spring of 2015. We will get started. We're in design phase currently on upgrades to Walk of Fame Park. We'll begin construction on that this fall and be completed with it next spring. And then we're working closely with Metro Water Services on upgrades to West Park. Those are the big projects.
Okay. Greg?
Oh, Tim, can you get me an update like that? Just sort of update on capital projects? That'd be great. Thanks. No, that's it.
Good. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for all you do, and thanks for having such a good turnout here today.
We'd overwhelm you with numbers. Thank you.